This is a review of the Conrad model of a Palfinger PK53002SH loading crane, and it's mounted on a Mercedes-Benz Actros truck chassis. This is one of 4 versions that were made for Palfinger by Conrad, and as you can see it comes in a standard Palfinger branded box, and after a bit of a struggle you can pull it out, and as you can see it's wrapped in the foam rubber that Conrad uses, and there's a little bag of parts with it too. So let's have a look at some of the details on the truck. It's a smart looking cab. The only things that you have to fit are the door mirrors and these aerials on the roof, and the aerials are a little bit fiddly to fix because they're a very tight fit into the holes in the cab roof, so it's probably best to just trim a tiny little bit of plastic off the ends and then they plug in quite nicely. At the back we have some wheel chocks and a nice little beacon light, and the casting details on the tailgate are quite good. You can see the hinge details cast in. It's not an opening tailgate, but it looks quite good. And underneath, most of these parts are plastic, but it looks pretty good. The steering is purely functional. It's not trying to model the real truck at all, but it does mean the features are very good, and you'll see that later. As usual, the cab tilts forward and you can see the engine underneath, and as I mentioned, the steering angle is very good on this truck. You can see you get a good hard lock, so although it's not modelled realistically underneath, you can certainly get quite a realistic pose on the truck, and it moves pretty well with the steering on at hard lock, which is good. The truck bed just pulls off, and that gives you access to the fifth wheel, so you can easily fit a trailer. Here we can see the Palfinger nicely folded up for transport. The front outriggers are actually vertically mounted, and they fold forward, and you'll see that a bit later on. The detail on the Palfinger is really good. The control console's there, and there's some nice graphics on the crane. So let's have a go at the outriggers. The front ones twist down and pull out. They're plastic, these outrigger beams, so they're not the most sturdy, but they're good enough. And the rear ones are metal, and they just pull out, and you can screw down the pads quite nicely. With the outriggers out, you can open up the Palfinger, and it just pulls up and out like that, so that's quite easy, nice and smooth action. There are 6 extending sections on the crane, and they just pull out quite nicely, and the mechanism's stiff enough to hold any pose that you want to set, so it's good. You get 2 hooks with the model, a fixed one and one that's attached to the winch, and they attach to the boom at any one of these 3 locations that's marked. And there's also another small part that has to be fixed, which I think is a rope guide just on the boom there. And with the boom up, you can turn the winch and lower the hook and raise it. I've got a few chains on here just to keep a nice tension on the rope, because it looks better. So this is a neat model from Conrad. Although the black parts of the Palfinger are plastic, it does actually look pretty good, and the functionality is very good, so you can make some interesting poses with the model, loading things up, and it can be placed with other models, and looks pretty good really. This is a high quality model from Conrad, and it's highly recommended. And if you want to read more about it and see some detailed photos, have a look on CranesEtcTV.